Antonio Brown was arrested for attempted murder. I'm pretty sure they were looking for him for quite a while. I think he was out in like Dubai hiding or something crazy along those lines, you know what I mean? And if you go and do the dash, I think you're pretty screwed. So let's get into the video and let's see what's going on with Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown has been arrested on attempted murder charges. He is now in New Jersey waiting for extradition to Miami.
What do you think about CT? What is CT?
It's like brain damage, right?
I don't want to say you're brain damage. You think I got CT?
You know, every single time I make a video on Antonio Brown, I say the same thing over and over again. At this point, I'm willing to admit it's a blatant lie. Every time I say this is probably going to be the last video we make on Antonio Brown, he just keeps raising the bar in something absurd that he's doing that I can't help but cover. Antonio Brown is back in America, not by choice, not for a comeback. He was literally just extradited by US Marshals from Dubai a few hours ago to face attempted murder charges. Yeah, the same guy who caught touchdown passes from Tom Brady in the Super Bowl is now in custody, being transferred from Newark, New Jersey back to Miami-Dade County, where he allegedly tried to shoot someone at a celebrity boxing event 6 months ago. We're gonna get into all of it: the shooting, the victim, the evidence, why he ran to Dubai.
Honestly, I don't know why he decided to run off, because last I remember about that situation, they were trying to rob him or something, and he pulled out a gun. But like, if they trying to rob him, but then why did you run? Like, it's just not looking good. This is like a very odd situation, high key.
What this means for his future. But first, you need to understand just how far Antonio Brown has fallen, because this story is about way more than just one bad night in Miami. This is about a complete and total collapse of one of the most talented players in NFL history. This video is probably going to get demonetized. To help us with monetization, this video is sponsored. You guys have been flooding my DMs about our hate rate on Prize Picks. It's over.
Hey, bro, that thing gonna get demonetized. What? Does that mean I'm gonna get demonetized too? What? Anyway, let's continue, man.
Chuck 1212. What's going on, everybody? Let's rewind for a second. Antonio Brown wasn't just good at football. He was generational. A 7-time Pro Bowler, a 4-time first-team All-Pro. He led the NFL in receptions twice, receiving yards twice, and touchdowns once. During his peak with the Pittsburgh Steelers from 2010 to 2018, this man was literally unstoppable. A 6th-round pick from Central Michigan who became one of the greatest receivers of the 2010s. He caught passes from Ben Roethlisberger, made the Pro Bowl basically every year, and was on a Hall of Fame trajectory. In 2019, he let the success go to his head, but in 2020, he got his redemption arc. Tom Brady personally recruited him to Tampa Bay, and AB helped the Bucs win the Super Bowl. It was supposed to be the comeback story, the troubled star finding his way back, but that's not how this story ends, because just months later, in January of 2022, everything fell apart in the most Antonio Brown way possible. In the middle of a game against the New York Jets, AB literally took off his jersey, his shoulder pads, threw his gloves into the crowd, and ran off the field shirtless while the game was still happening. Head coach Bruce Arians immediately said,
"He is no longer a Buck." That's the end of the story. Let's talk about the guys that went out there and won the game.
Career over.
That's one way to end it, brother. You know what I'm saying? You are in a professional football game. You take off your jersey and leave. Throw it on the floor all dramatic like. If you'd have walked off with your jersey, probably no one would have said nothing. They'd be like, oh, maybe he's hurt. Maybe he had to run and take a shit. You know what I'm saying? But you took off your shit, threw it on the floor. Decided to walk off shirtless, brother. That's the way to end your career, because now you're doing it publicly in front of all the other football teams also. You're cooked. You shouldn't have did that. That was a terrible play.
At the age of 33, one of the best receivers in NFL history ended his career by literally quitting mid-game. And you'd think that would be rock bottom, right? That was somehow just the beginning. AB's legal issues didn't start with attempted murder. They've been building for years. Back in 2020, he pleaded no contest to felony burglary with battery after allegedly assaulting a moving truck driver over a $4,000 dispute. He got 2 years probation, anger management classes, community service. Then in 2022, Tampa police issued a domestic violence warrant after he allegedly threw a shoe at his ex-fiancée and threatened to shoot her. Those charges eventually got dropped when the victim recanted, but the pattern was clear. By 2023, he was getting arrested for unpaid child support, owing over $30,000. Then came the bankruptcy filing in May of 2024. This dude made over $80 million during his NFL career, and he declared bankruptcy, claiming just $50,000 in assets against almost $3 million in debts. We're talking about owing money to everyone. $1 million to the truck driver he assaulted, over $1 million to a celebrity jeweler for custom pieces he never returned, hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card debt. His life was complete financial chaos. But here's the thing about all those legal issues. They were still in the realm of a troubled former athlete. Assault charges, bankruptcy, child support drama. We've seen all of that before with other players. This next part is way different. May 16th, 2025, just before midnight in Miami's Little Haiti neighborhood, Adin Ross is hosting a celebrity boxing event at a warehouse, one of those brand risk boxing cards that was blowing up on Kick and social media. Antonio Brown is there, probably trying to stay relevant in that influencer world. And that's when everything goes sideways. According to the arrest warrant that would come later, Brown got into it with a kid named Zulkarnain Kwambe Nantambu, someone who claimed that he knew AB since around 2022. Surveillance footage shows Antonio Brown throwing a closed fist punch at Nantambu, and suddenly there's a full-on brawl with multiple people involved. Security breaks it up. At this point, it's just another parking lot fight. The warrant alleges that Brown grabbed a black firearm from the right hip area of a security officer named Eric Bauer. Multiple witnesses captured this on their phones. You can see AB on video advancing toward Nantambu on the sidewalk, weapon in hand, and then the footage shows Brown within several feet of Nantambu when he fires, with the victim literally ducking after the first shot. Police responded to
That shit ain't play out how I remembered it. Nah, brother. I thought he was getting robbed. You know what I'm saying? And if you getting robbed and niggas shooting from the floor, oh shit. Cool. I'm cool with it. Nigga grabbed the gun from somebody else and started blasting that bro. The fucky? With all those people around. Lock that nigga up, bro. And he said kid, so he has to be younger. I hope he ain't get him, bro. I hope he ain't shoot him. Cause I don't remember all this. I just remember bro was claiming self-defense. That don't look like no damn self-defense. You hear me?
Shot spotter alerts and found 2 spent shell casing at the scene, plus an empty gun holster. Multiple witnesses in the parking lot identified Antonio Brown as the shooter. When officers detained Brown at the scene, he didn't have the gun on him anymore and no victims were immediately identified. So they let him go that night, but the investigation was just getting started. So you would think Antonio Brown would do whatever he can to cover this up, right? But he might have done the exact opposite. The very next day, May 17th, Antonio Brown did what he always does. He went to social media. He posted on X, "I was jumped by multiple individuals."
Bro, what is this? What is this Avi, bro? Y'all gonna have to, bro, what? Anywho, okay.
Who tried to steal my jewelry and cause physical harm to me. Contrary to some videos circulating, police temporarily detained me until they received my side of the story and then released me. I went home that night and was not arrested, in all caps. He's claiming self-defense. He's claiming he was the victim of a robbery attempt. He also...
No, you picked up a gun, somebody else's gun that ain't had nothing to do with you, and you chased the nigga down and lock this nigga up. Lock this nigga up, bruh. Yo, closed case, nigga. What are we talking about here, bro? You cooked, brother. Damn. I thought it was self-defense, bro. I never seen no videos. I heard about it. Nigga said it was self-defense. I believed it was self-defense. You know what I'm saying? Let me put my Sherlock Holmes glasses on, man. This is crazy.
So went on Adin Ross's live stream the next day and said this.
Yeah, I got CT. I blacked out. I don't know what happened. Blacked out, dude. I blacked out, Adin. I know what happened. I know.
Now, legally speaking, that's a terrible thing to admit. You just acknowledge that you don't
And everybody laughing. I would have been like, this nigga is a safety risk. Get this nigga out of here. He's a safety risk. Nigga is a tweaker in the brain. You know what I'm saying? It's probably really too many hits, bro. Got his brain scrambled a little too much. You know what I mean? But the thing is, where do you draw the line with people that can immediately get, like, physically dangerous? You know what I'm saying? Like, you might want to, like, work with them and shit like that, but if a nigga could just tweak, but then again, he didn't, you know, just tweak. He was over there fighting and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like a random switch. But nigga said, I don't remember. Nigga said CT. Nigga, like, you went and grabbed a random nigga's gun and chased some people down and shoot at them. You know what I'm saying? You're cooked, brother. You know what I'm saying? All these battery charges you have and shit like that. Like, you could just flip a switch and go nutso mode and not care about nothing. Like, I'm sorry. You probably shouldn't be around the general public. No cap. You know what I mean?
Remember what happened during an incident where you're accused of attempted murder. That's not helping your case at all. For about a month, nothing happened publicly, but behind the scenes, Miami
Niggas just gotta laugh. Nigga walk around shirtless talking about, I don't know what happened, Aiden. Aiden, bro, I don't know what happened, bro. I blacked out. Everyone like,
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm not gonna lie. Everybody else that night went home, got in bed, and was thinking, that nigga like crazy. You know what I'm saying? I had to like smile and giggle so the nigga don't tweak. But that nigga a little crazy.
Detectives were building their case. They collected the surveillance footage, the cell phone videos, witness statements, hospital records, the shell casing, the shot spotter data, everything. On June 11th, 2025, a Miami-Dade County judge signed an arrest warrant charging Antonio Brown with attempted second-degree murder with a firearm. The bond was set at just $10,000 with house arrest conditions, which honestly seems low for attempted murder, but here's the catch. Antonio Brown had to surrender himself, and he never did. Instead, according to Miami Police Chief Manny Morales, detectives believe Brown was in Dubai, and Brown's Instagram basically confirmed it.
This nigga damn there almost killed somebody. Needs to turn himself in for a $10,000 bond. And nigga is in Dubai with bitches. Smiling. In the mugshot, bro had no hair, bro. Bro had no hair. You know, he been going through it. And he was already saying he was broke. Now you in Dubai? Bro, I ain't never been in Dubai. I imagine Dubai expensive as fuck. Yo ass over there hopping around fucking expensive ass Airbnbs, all type of shit for God know for months. You know what I'm saying? You already said you don't got no fucking money. No money on. Yeah, bro. Nigga had to shave his head bald. Maybe he was out there like the bad bitches getting shitted on. Pause, damn. But you never know. You know what I'm saying?
He was posting from the Middle East, living it up while wanted for attempted murder back home. 2 days after the warrant was arrested, he posted a video of himself riding a bike in Dubai with the caption, #love from the Middle East. This man was literally taunting authorities while he was on the run. Now, technically, according to the Miami Herald, his trip to Dubai started before the warrant was issued. So he technically wasn't on the run, but the fact that he stayed there for nearly 5 months after the warrant became public, yeah, that's just fleeing from justice. Not even rich sugar babies take 5-month trips to Dubai. The weird thing is, AB went mostly silent on social media after the warrant became public. He had been posting constantly before, like over 50 posts in the week before the warrant, and then suddenly, nothing. That silence was deafening. It suggested that maybe, just maybe, someone convinced him to shut up and get legal representation. Which brings us to November 6th.
He don't even look like AB, bruh. Nigga don't even look like AB no more. That's tough, man.
6th, 2025. Antonio Brown has been extradited from Dubai.
Nigga done aged 10 years All right, 10 is crazy. Nigga done aged like a good 5 years and 5 months, brother. That's tough.
Back to the United States by federal agents. United Arab Emirates authorities shipped him back to the States, and he arrived in Newark, New Jersey earlier on Thursday, accompanied by U.S. Marshals. Jail records show that he was booked into Essex County Jail in New Jersey, and he's being held there until they can transport him down to South Florida, where he'll be formally charged and booked into Miami-Dade County Jail. The Miami Police Department confirmed the extradition and released a statement saying, "This is just another example of the relentless work and dedication of Miami police detectives, working closely with the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office and U.S. Marshals to identify and arrest those who commit crimes in the city of Miami. After nearly 5 months of being essentially a fugitive in Dubai, AB is finally on U.S. soil and facing the music." Let's talk about what Antonio Brown is actually up against here. He's being charged with attempted second-degree murder with a firearm. In Florida, that carries a potential sentence of 15 to 30 years in prison. But it gets worse. Florida has these firearm enhancement laws that are brutal. Just possessing a firearm during a felony can add 10 years minimum to your sentence. Actually discharging that firearm, that's a 20-year mandatory minimum. There are also aggravating factors that could push his sentence higher. The shooting happened in a public place with lots of people around. A victim was actually injured. He allegedly fled the scene, and he's got prior criminal history with that 2020 felony battery conviction. Now, he could argue self-defense. His lawyer could say he was jumped in defending himself. They could challenge the witness identification or the video quality. They might try a mental health defense based on his CTE claims. But here's the problem. Prosecutors have multiple forms of evidence. They've got surveillance footage showing him punching Nantambu first, then taking the gun from security.
He punched him first too? Bro, tweaker, bro.
They've got cell phone video of him advancing with the weapon and firing. They've got the shell casings and empty holster. They've got shot spotter data pinpointing the exact time of the shots. They've got the victim's hospital record, and they've got multiple witnesses who identified Brown as the shooter. That's a strong case, like really strong. Could there be a plea deal? Maybe. They might offer him aggravated assault with a firearm instead, which would be 5 to 15 years, or assault with a deadly weapon for 2 to 10 years, or even reckless endangerment for 1 to 5 years. But given the strength of the evidence, prosecutors might not feel any pressure to offer a plea deal. And look, when you compare Antonio Brown to other NFL players who faced similar criminal charges, this is basically uncharted territory. Let's take a look at some examples. Aaron Hernandez was convicted of first-degree murder in 2015.
This nigga was a demon. Oh my god, bro. This nigga right here, different type shit. Not in a good way. I feel like this nigga will hang you from your toes and that motherfucking just fucking watch you while you fucking...
Sentenced to life without parole, and he ended up taking his own life in prison in 2017. We have a separate video on Ray Caruth, who conspired to murder his pregnant girlfriend in 1999, served 18 years before being released in 2018. Brandon Browner is probably the most similar case to Brown's. He was sentenced to 8 years for attempted murder of his ex-girlfriend in a 2018 home invasion.
Bro, what makes you want to murder your ex-girlfriend? Like, that's not your girl. Like, what? You're gonna just destroy your whole life to kill your ex-girlfriend. Nigga, huh? Shit like this don't be making no sense. Like, that's what I be saying though. Sometimes niggas need to be in jail, bro. Sometimes niggas need to be in jail because that's the best place for them to be. You know what I mean? Like, you should not be out here with the general public. You just gonna murder your ex-girlfriend. Lock the nigga up. Nigga, throw the nigga under the jail. You know what I'm saying? And make sure he get a cell room with Big Pinky. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about Big Pinky ain't nice and he not gonna be gentle. You know what I'm saying? Every night, nigga need to be getting the... know what I'm saying? Because, like, shit like that is just not good, brother. Not good.
And of course, the famous Ray Lewis case, one of our most popular videos on this YouTube channel. Lewis faced double murder charges back in 2000, but he plea bargained down to obstruction of justice and got 1 year probation. He was able to continue his Hall of Fame career, but Ray was 25 at the time and in his prime. AB is 37 and hasn't played in almost 4 years. The key difference.
Bro, maybe this was before my time. I didn't know. I didn't know about this one, brother. Double homicide? And he got misdemeanor? Obstruction of justice? A misdemeanor charge of obstruction of justice. 2 niggas died. Okay, I don't know what he did, though. I don't know what he did, but his lawyer did his fucking big one. That's what his lawyer did. Holy shit.
Faced double murder charges back in 2000, but he plea bargained down to obstruction of justice and got 1 year probation.
Was he the one that stabbed the niggas? If this nigga stabbed 2 niggas, they died, and nigga gets a misdemeanor. It was a crazy world back then, brother. A crazy world. You know what I'm saying? They had OJ. This nigga still on the loose, nigga. This nigga a double homicide fucking serial killer still on the fucking loose. I'm gonna look into this. I'm just laughing, fucking making jokes right now. You know what I'm saying? He might have been trying to defend himself and 2 niggas attacked him and he shanked 2 niggas and you know what I'm saying? But they make it seem like he was fighting 2 murders and like niggas got stabbed, like type shit.
He was able to continue his Hall of Fame career, but Ray was 25 at the time and in his prime. AB is 37 and hasn't played in almost 4 years. The key difference is most players who came back from serious charges were young and still had NFL value. Antonio Brown's career was already over before these charges even happened. That mid-game exit in Tampa was his last play in the NFL. Even if he somehow avoids prison, we all know there's no comeback at this point. Now, I want to talk about CTE for a second because there's this whole conversation happening around Antonio Brown and CTE, the brain disease caused by repeated head trauma, and AB himself has repeatedly brought it up. Like when he said, I got CTE, I blacked out on Aiden Ross's stream.
Yeah, I got CTE, I blacked out. I ain't know what.
We have a video covering Antonio Brown's entire career, how he behaved before the hits and his interviews after, comparing them. It's one of the older videos on this channel. CTE is real, it's serious, and Brown played football at a high level for over a decade, taking countless hits to the head, including that famous Vontaze Burfict hit. Could that explain some of his erratic behavior? Maybe. Could it be used as a legal defense? His lawyers might try. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Lots of former NFL players have CTE or brain trauma, and they're not out here shooting at people in parking lots. The disease doesn't excuse violence. It might explain impulsivity or poor decision making, but prosecutors aren't going to just let someone walk on attempted murder charges just because they claim brain damage. Plus,
you throw them back out in the general public to potentially do it again, you know what I mean?
AB's own statements hurt his defense. He admitted to blacking out, which means he's acknowledging that he doesn't remember his actions. That could actually work against him in court because it removes the possibility of claiming justified self-defense. If you don't remember what happened, how could you argue you were reasonably defending yourself? The mental health and CTE conversation is important for understanding Antonio Brown's overall decline, but it's probably not going to save him in court. So where do we go from here? Antonio Brown is currently in Essex County Jail in New Jersey. He'll be extradited down to Miami-Dade County in the coming days, where he'll be formally arraigned on the attempted murder charge. He can post the $10,000 bond and be released on house arrest while
They still gonna give him the $10,000 bond after nigga was in Dubai for 5 months straight? Unless he turned himself in Dubai in order to get extradited, which is possible. That's probably what I would do. Like, you just turn yourself in Dubai so you don't gotta pay for the for the flight home. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't think they're gonna give him that same bond. I feel like you know, they might have to rethink that after nigga did the dash.
Waiting trial, or he can stay in jail if he can't make bail. Given his bankruptcy situation, even $10,000 might be tough. Once he's out, he'll need to find serious legal representation, not social media lawyers or guys who'll just hype him up. He needs a top-tier Florida criminal defense attorney who specializes in violent felonies. That's expensive, really expensive. The case will probably take months to go to trial, maybe even longer. Prosecutors will present all their evidence, the videos, the witnesses, the physical evidence, the victim testimony. Brown's defense will try to poke holes in it, argue self-defense, maybe even bring up the CTE stuff. The best case scenario for AB is a plea deal for a lesser charge. Maybe he serves a few years, gets out while he's still in his early 40s. Worst case is he's convicted on the attempted murder charge with firearm enhancement, looking at potentially 20 to 30 years. At 37 years old, that's practically a life sentence.
Ugh.
Let's zoom out for a second. Antonio Brown's story is about more than just legal charges. It's about the complete and total collapse of one of the most talented players in NFL history. Think about the trajectory. 6th round pick from Central Michigan who becomes a 7-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first team All-Pro, catches touchdown passes from Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, should be a first ballot Hall of Famer based purely on his on-field production during his peak years. And now he's wanted for attempted murder, extradited from Dubai, facing decades in prison, bankrupt. No team will ever touch him again, and his reputation is completely destroyed. The fall happened gradually, then all at once. The social media antics started as funny quirks, then they became concerning. The legal issues started as misdemeanors, then they escalated. The financial problems started as a few deaths, then bankruptcy. The erratic behavior started as diva moments, then it became a mid-game walkout, then a shooting. This is what a complete unraveling looks like. Not a single moment where everything breaks, but a steady accumulation of bad decisions, burned bridges, ignored warnings, and escalating consequences until there's nothing left. And you have to wonder, could anyone have stopped this? Did the Steelers enable him too long because he was productive? Did Tom Brady and the Bucs give him a second chance without proper support systems? Did the NFL fail to address his mental health issues when they were obvious? Did his friends and family try to intervene? Or was this always going to end this way, regardless of what anyone did? Was Antonio Brown always destined to self-destruct, and was it just a matter of when and how? Look, I don't know what's gonna happen in court. Maybe the jury sees reasonable doubt, maybe there's a plea deal we're not seeing coming, maybe his lawyers find some angle we haven't thought of. But what I do know is this: Antonio Brown's story is over. Not the legal case, that'll drag on for months. I mean his story as an NFL player, as a celebrity, as someone with a future in football. That's done. The boy who made it from Central Michigan to the Super Bowl, who caught passes from Big Ben and Tom Brady, who was on a Hall of Fame trajectory, that story ended years ago. We're just watching the tragic epilogue now. Today's extradition is just the latest chapter in a fall that's been happening in slow motion for half a decade. From All-Pro to attempted murder suspect, from $80 million to bankruptcy, from Super Bowl champion to international fugitive to county jail. This is how legends fall, not in glory, but in handcuffs. Antonio Brown is finally back in America, and his day of reckoning has arrived. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down.
This shit's sad, I'm not gonna lie. This was a sad one. You know what I'm saying? He did do that shit though. Hey, I don't know what type of, you know, fucking mental gymnastics they gonna have to pull to try to get him not to stay in jail for fucking 15 years. But it's gonna be a lot of it. Cause that nigga did that shit. You feel me? But damn, bro. It is something that you could at the end of the day chuck up to the CTE, because the nigga did have a lot of hits to the head. And I wouldn't even want to deal with a day in the mind of somebody that is fucking, you know, that much mind fog and things of that nature going on with them. Like, that has to be like terrible. If it's as bad as I think of it in my head, which I feel like it's pretty damn bad. You know what I mean? And you just black out, do some crazy shit, and then now you 15 years in jail. You know what I mean? But hey, anyway, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if nobody told you today, I love you. Peace.